Hey guys, good morning. It's Tempress here with my very first video. I'm looking a little bit rough because I had a long night and I accidentally slept in this morning. I haven't really done much with myself, but while I was getting ready light this morning, I started thinking about Mercury retrograde. I started thinking about things that have happened in my life. And people that I've known, and situations that I've had to leave, and friend circles, and yada yada yada. What has happened, and what's happened over the years, and how I've reconnected with some of those people, etc. That's really not what this message is about, or this video, but it got me thinking about ego and pride and judgment, and I wanted to visit that idea and that theme here today. It's kind of strange first video, but that's what's going on in my brain today. So that's what we're gonna look at. Typical of a Pisces, I often detach from these situations because I want to protect myself, protect my energy, protect my emotions, and protect my sensitivity, because as a Pisces I am sensitive and I can become emotionally charged, and it's it feels really volatile inside, and that's not something I like to harbor. I like to be very grounded and take my emotions in a very calculated approach. Like, I like to process on my own and not with other people, because it can be really like the ocean, volatile. Who knows when that rogue wave is gonna hit you, right? So, I've when I deal with people who are really like kind of set in those egotistical mind traps, I used to get caught in them with those people, and it would be like just a ring around the rosy effect of I could get pretty petty, and I could get like typical of the Pisces, like emotionally charged situations bring out the petty in me, because I'm a justice warrior. I would be coming from a place of, hey, you're a piece of shit and this is how it is. But like, when you're coming from that mindset, that in itself is ego. Me being like, well, you're wrong, I'm right. And there's no strength in coming from that. It's another ego trap. And when I'm emotionally charged like that, like, it's really hard to get your words out right. Like, you just can't. It's at least me, I can't. I get all like shaky and stuff, and that anxiety starts pounding. I don't know if that's a Pisces. I don't think that's a Pisces thing. So I think that's an anybody thing. But anyways, so Mercury retrograde has been treating me really good. Like, I have spent a lot of time just not like trying to think about these things, but like just journaling my thoughts and my feelings. All them feels, just to work through them, because that's what you should do in a Mercury retrograde anyways. And I just kind of was in tune, like the shadow period. Maybe I went into the shadow period with that mindset. I think I might have, to like prepare myself. And I've just been taking care of myself. It's been good. So anyways, we're like 5 minutes into this, so I'm going to get going with this message. Now, I already did my prayer to Spirit. We asked for messages to communicate to the collective who's inspired by this guidance about ego traps and pride and judgment, pride, judgment, and all of that. I kind of already did that anyways. We ask for messages to communicate to those inspired by them, to help us for our own highest and greater good, to help us on our ascension process, our soul growth, and our development, and harmonizing our relationships and creating meaningful fulfillments in our lives. Any messages that can come through for us today, Spirit, please. We thank you for your guidance and protection and protecting us with your highest light and love, for bestowing us with the opportunity to work towards our highest and greatest good. And we're grateful for your love and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, I'm reading my prayer off a sheet because, I don't know, I'm too scatterbrained to memorize anything right now. And I actually just recently wrote that, I think in the Mercury Shadow. I had another prayer, but it just didn't seem right anymore. So I wanted to change it. And I was watching this other tarot reader actually, and I think she's a Toronto girl, which I love because that's where I'm from. And she just had this big old great prayer, and I was like, holy crap, like, that's gorgeous. And I actually stole a little bit from her. Kind of made it my own just a little bit. A bit about ascension, soul growth, development. I liked that. And it resonated with me. It jived with me. So I wanted to pray to Spirit in the same way. So thanks. Her name's Queen Cup on YouTube. I like her readings. She's very chatty, and she likes to talk about a lot of spiritual stuff. And she calls out other people too. So hey, shout out to Queen Cup on YouTube. Anyways, today, guys, I'm going to cut this deck now. I don't always cut decks, but today I'm going to. So, Spirit, this message is about ego and pride and traps we might be in. Okay, well, this is interesting already. We have the Eight of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, the Devil in reverse, and the Page of Cups. I'm using the, what is this deck called? I think it's called Crystal Spirit. I don't have the box next to me. Oh, great, there's a shine. The Eight of Cups, or the Eight of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, the Devil, and the Page of Cups in reverse. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to edit a video before I post this. So anyways, ego traps, pride, the opposite of glory, honestly. Judgment, we have the Eight of Swords. So those of us who are in these ego traps, and those of us who are stuck in judgment, this is the energy that you cultivate when you decide to take your ill thoughts and express them towards another person or about another person. What you're doing is you're trapping yourself in that cycle of thought, in that ill wish and ill will towards another person. You're cutting yourself off from the connection with that person, and you're unable to see anything else, or you're closed off from it. At least you're closed off from being open to receiving new perceptions and new ideas, and even closing yourself off to that other person. Because when you're talking ill or thinking ill, you're coming from one perspective, and that perspective is rooted in hatred. Even if you don't hate that person, it is rooted in hatred. And then you got the Seven of Pentacles. You're putting your investment, you're planting seeds, and you're sowing seeds of hatred. That's what you're doing when you talk ill, or you think ill, or you're spreading bad vibes. Is you're cultivating an existence of judgment and judgment traps, and it's not like the judgment in the tarot deck, at least not the Rider-Waite meaning of judgment, where you're introspective and awakening to new perceptions. You're getting caught in mind traps And ego traps, this right here is an ego trap. So what that's going to do to you is that's going to bind you to that devil energy. That's your obsession with this thought. That's your obsession with being in a bad mood, basically. A bad mood with a person. That's what judgment is you're just, there's something you don't like about a person, so you're stuck in that judgment, and you're stuck in that ego trap, and you're just cultivating an existence of the devil energy, which is not good energy, you know. That's the energy of being addicted to what ails us, being obsessed with the things that bother us, the things that trigger us, with our problems, with our own issues, that because oftentimes judgment stems from a place inside us. We're judging people because whether it's coming from guilt, greed, what's that other one? Jealousy. Are these the 7 deadly sins? Well, it is the devil. You know, pride, even, like, it's coming from a place where, oh, I'm better than them, or, oh, they don't deserve everything that they have, why do they have it, or, and I don't, like I'm a bit, like, I deserve that too, or I'm a better, if they're so bad to say I'm a better person, you know, some people are like that, and, it goes without saying that these are chains that you need to break. Quite obviously, these are cycles. Like, this is trapped cycles, and this is trapped emotions. This is trapped energy that we need to move away from, because it doesn't serve us. It's not doing anything to elevate our existence. It's not doing anything to help us elevate as people, in our energetic selves, in our emotional selves, in our mental selves, in our hearts. It's what it is you're just harvesting all this bad energy coming in from the devil. I'm gonna have to use a different deck, I think. And let's summon demons. Oh, I guess I did. You know, it's what you want to do is visit it in this Page of Cups like way. When you're in your mind, or when you catch yourself in your mind, or speaking into these thoughts into existence, take an approach of an apprentice. You catch yourself, you realize, oh, that's ego. I'm speaking from a place of ego. I'm speaking from a place of pain. I'm speaking from a place of judgment. How can I learn from this? Be like the Page of Cups. That cup can serve as what, that cup is what he offers other people. That cup is it's his emotional being, and it's his emotional intellect, and it's his cup of essence. And when you realize, when that little fish pops out up at you in your imagination, and tells you, hey, in your imagination, you know, it's kind of a dark place, and it's a place, you're coming from a place of hate, and you're coming from a place of hurt. Take that imagination and turn those thoughts around and be like, hey, you know what, if you're speaking this into existence about another person, or even about yourself, because you can be harsh on yourself, and if you're harshing on your own vibe, like, you are your own enemy. And you are putting yourself in this mental trap. And, you know, that magician, that alchemist, that manifester, well, those are the seeds you're sowing. It's for yourself. But in your imagination, you need to start using it to think up ways out of this. When you catch yourself, see what you can do in the flow. See what you can do in the thought. And be like, okay, let's do a little improv here. You know, I'm really upset because I don't have a proper setup to do my videos. Instead, I don't have a proper setup, so I'm gonna do a video anyways, and I'm gonna know that it's gonna be rough and it's going to need a lot of work. But, you know, if I don't start somewhere, then how am I ever gonna start? Or to put it in the perspective of me talking badly about somebody else, you know, this person seems to have a lot of stuff, and I don't know where they're getting it from, but I'd be really interested to know how they are creating so much abundance, how they're creating such a life from them when it seems like they don't have anything. And like, how can they do it? What's their secret? Instead of coming from a place of jealousy, come from a place of wonder, from inquiry. And you should be inspired by people. Like, if somebody has nothing but it seems like they got their stuff together, then ask them, hey, like, what's your trick? It seems like you just have everything all together. And, you know, like, it's just simple things like that. Instead of hating on other people, why don't we wonder how they got there, not from a place of hate, not from a place of hurt, but a place of, I want to learn. I respect that about them. That is a skill I would like. That is something I would like to be able to do in my own life. And then, you know, that page, they're going to use that creativity, because that's creative thinking. That is Page of Cups energy. That's Pisces energy. Yay, Pisces retrograde. I'm a Pisces. I love it. I'm so Pisces too. You know, that's Page of Cups energy, to create and to take ideas and take imagination and build your reality with it, and to come from a place of emotional intelligence, because the cup suit is all sensitivity, it's all emotion, it's the emotional journey, and it's how we can take our ill thoughts and our ill wishes and our ill feelings and turn them into positive feelings, positivity. And that's the alchemy, that's the mental, that's the take this bad thing and turn it into something good. You know what I mean? At the bottom of the deck, we got the 4 of Cups. So what you see with that is you're there, you're sitting in under your tree, sitting by your tree, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, or you're looking at what you have, and you're like, or you're looking at these things lining up in front of you, and you're like, what is this? Like, what's it all worth? What's it all about? Like, why is this what I have? And it's like the Page of Cups, that fish pops out, like the cup coming in from the clouds. That Ace of Cups coming in from the clouds. That's how I see the 4 of Cups. That Ace of Cups is like hiding in there. And it's coming and saying, hey, why don't you look at this and from this perspective? And that's what I see. The Ace of Cups comes in slyly in the 4 of Cups, and we need to take that cup and go on that mental journey. And, you know, what comes after that, you got the Five of Cups. You learn the lesson, right? You learn the lesson, you walk away from it, or you get stuck in that sad energy of jealousy or lack, or, you know, and then you should move on to the Six of Cups, where you start receiving from other people, and you start, you know, protecting the image of yourself or other people, and rather than coming at people with bad energy and bad ill wishes and ill motives, you know. You're like, instead, here, let's share this emotion, let's share these ideas, let's share this creativity, you know, let's use our imagination on how to cultivate a better life. And then, you know, you go through the suits till you get, you know, that wish fulfillment, the Nine of Cups, where you're like, you know what? I've learned a lot, and I've come to a place in myself where I feel emotionally fulfilled because I am okay with myself, and I am okay with other people. I'm okay with what I have. And that's the mindset that is going to allow you to manifest that Ten of Cups. The actual happily ever after. Not the marriage, not the home life, but the ability to actually be happy in it. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's a good message. I like that. Thank you, Spirit. I also wanted to look at with I got the Quantum Oracle here, and it's by Sandra Ann Taylor, and I wanted to look at what are some collective energies that may be stagnating and causing us to get stuck in these cycles and stuck in these traps with each other. So, Spirit, what's going on in the collective? What's going on in this earth realm that is kind of affecting us and getting us in these mental traps and putting us in that Eight of Swords energy, so that we, ooh, that felt good. I like this. Yeah, I'm gonna. Spirit's kind of sighing at me, I know it. Like, are we really gonna go here? 22 minutes in, 22:55. Look at that. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna shuffle till a couple fly out. So, Spirit, traps and cycles. What are some traps and cycles that we're getting caught in with our ego? I like this. Okay. The honoring path. And it came in upright. Angels of the Four Directions, which also came in upright. And victim mentality. So, you know what I've been hearing a lot of lately is that these ego traps are coming in from the spiritual community, and it's coming in from separation and segregation, cliquey. It's coming in from people who are on their own spiritual journey, but I don't understand why. Because I don't think I think this way. I might. Maybe that's my own. Maybe I'm blind to it. Maybe I'm like the Four of Cups dude in the Four of Cups. But, but when we're on our honored path, we don't look at things from a negative perspective. We look at things as an inspiration of how we can do better and how this can suit us. And rather than looking at something and being like, oh, I don't like it, or I don't like this person, or it's like, and not even like, we're supposed to look at our triggers, why, but it's not even like thinking about why we don't like it. It's thinking about how we can learn from it. Well, I guess that's examining our triggers. Is when you're on your honored path, you look at everything as a way to develop yourself into a more understanding, more accepting, more open and receptive person, right? So that is an ego trap, right? Ego trap right there is how to be open and receptive and to learn and to be guided and to understand ourselves better. Because when we're met with something that triggers ill thoughts, ill feelings inside of us, then that is where we are given the opportunity to examine ourselves, why we think that, and to be better about it. You know what I mean? You got the angels of the four directions. I get this in the reverse a lot. Saint Germain and Hilarion. Hilarion is the fifth ray, the green ray of healing and divine truth. And Saint Germain is, I want to say, self-care. And the other two, I never get this in the upright in when I'm doing my own readings, and I would very rarely use this for other people. So I'll probably look into that. Let's check up real quick what the other two guys are. Where are they? It's Spirit. I believe Spirit is in the back of the book. Events. Tension, energy, consciousness. Yeah, Spirit is way in the back there. In the upright, it is Uriel and Raphael. That's right. And Uriel is like, yeah, immensely valuable inspiration. So being inspired by what bothers us, what triggers us. And Raphael, I should know this off by heart, but I don't, because I went the path of rejection for a really long time, and especially rejecting divinity, because as a teenager, it's been a good few years since I've been a teenager. As a teenager, I had like an awakening light where I started getting all these divine thoughts, and everything was about the light for me, light and darkness, and I did a lot of writing about this too, but oh god, things were a mess for me. I was a mess for years, and then eventually I rejected it, and the church always turned me off because, well, that's a whole story. That's story time, and we're at 28 minutes, 11 seconds, so let's go. And Raphael is yeah, so he supports you with matters of love, healing, children, and relationships. So it's like, it's just all the goodness in life, you know? So we're getting in ego traps, and maybe this is an ego trap of rejection, rejecting that divine truth of love and acceptance and being open and receptive, and getting trapped in not allowing ourselves to trust, and not allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, not allow ourselves to be vulnerable to other people, not allow ourselves to be vulnerable to source, because everybody has a problem with control. Everybody wants to be the master of their own life, and we're co-creators. We, like the Toltecs say, we are the artists, and we make our own existence. Like the Hermetics say, we're manifestors, as within, so without. What we feel on the inside and the things that we create into our existence, our manifestations, you know, the alchemy of our existence, we don't realize how much power we actually have. And when we are open to receiving inspiration from other people, receiving inspiration from the divine, from source, from that place of higher power, from that place of, oh, my dryer's going off, that's gonna beep like a mother. Oh, it's gonna keep going off. I never thought about that. When we're open to letting other people guide us, that's when we can release ego. When we're open to being like, you know what, I don't have it all figured out. I don't have it all, and that's okay. I am where I am, and I am open to learning. I am open to being inspired. I am open to accepting new experiences that's going to help me grow into the person I want to be. I like that person. I like what that person has, at least. I want that. I'm going to be open and inspired rather than cutting them down in my own personal life, in my own personal thoughts, because whatever. Victim mentality, because that's victim mentality. That's putting yourself in a place of lack. That's putting yourself in a place of, I don't have that. Why do they? You know, I deserve that. Why do they have it and I don't? Or, you know, that's victim mentality. And I was going to do a couple more card pulls. But I'm going to go grab that dryer real quick to do that. Ugh. Okay, sorry. Victim mentality right there. Release yourself. Realize that you are only trapping yourself by putting yourself in a place of judgment, by coming from a place of judgment. That is putting yourself in a place of lack. That is putting yourself in ill manifestations, manifesting hurt and harm into your life. Don't go there, boo. You don't want that. So that's that. Put these away. I love these cards. I want the other deck. I can't remember what it's called. But there's another deck that goes with this deck. And I really want it. Oh, I want so many decks. I'm starting to think, actually, now that I can do video readings, I'm actually going to set myself up to do readings for people, like private readings, which is something that I have been doing, but like I was doing write-ups, and then I realized, why am I doing write-ups when I can do voice, like record my voice? So I started that, and the beautiful thing is this new phone that I got. See, this is the thing, is I just got this new phone, whereas my last phone had a really potato camera, and I broke the lens on the back of the camera, so like I couldn't use the good camera because it like light flares everywhere. Oh, it was terrible. But anyways, so I got myself a new phone, and it was a pretty penny, but I actually got a wicked deal on it. It's a Pixel 4, but it was like almost 50% off, and I did financing, so like it worked out. It's still kind of expensive, but like I was like, you know what, this is a good time for me to decide to do this. Anyways, so I wanted to do, I got the Starseed Oracle and Work Your Light. I call it the Light Workers Oracle because this is the Starseed. So I wanted to pull some direction and guidance from these. I haven't worked with the Starseed a lot, so I've seen only maybe 3 or 4 cards out of this. Like, I looked at them all when I first got it, but I don't like to bond with cards over visual, and I find it really difficult to sit down and read the books. I like to bond with decks by using them. Like, I just find that works a lot better for me. It's a lot easier to connect intuitively to a card when you're actually in use and you're receiving an actual message. than, you know, reading straight from the book. Like, of course, I read from the book when I feel drawn to, but not always. I felt a card that I liked. Oh, well, it's gone. So, direction and guidance, Spirit. Can we have guidance on how to release ourselves from these ego traps? Well, there we go. Deep cellular healing. Arcturus energy. Physical and emotional healing. I'm really going to have to figure out why my lighting's so weird. This camera is actually pretty beautiful, but I think it's probably the way I got my curtains. Deep cellular healing. Are we going to focus? I guess not. So I'm going to actually go to the book for that. Page 54. Your body knows how to heal. Healing is your natural state, and this is true. That is what ego traps, that's what you're supposed to do to get out of an ego trap, is you heal your mind, heal your body, heal your perspective, and then you can grow from it. And then you can do that alchemical mind voodoo woo-woo stuff and transform. Physical and emotional disharmony can be a reflection of how the world, inner and outer, as within, so without, has been out of alignment. If you are suffering from a mystery or chronic illness, don't allow yourself to think you've done something wrong. Today, it's difficult to navigate our health. If this card has made its way to you, you're being called to focus on your healing in practical ways, to prioritize your health, to be kind and tender to your miraculous body by being kind and tender to other people, to your mind, to your heart, to the heart and the mind of other people. That's that heart mind right there. I talk about this a lot, and the heart mind is the marriage of the mind and the heart chakras. You know, your actual mind and your heart chakra. And coming from a place of emotional intelligence and realizing we don't all have it figured out. Nobody has it all figured out. And just because somebody has something different or does something differently doesn't make it bad. And it's not something that you lack. It's something you can acquire. It's something you can gain. It's something you can grow. It's something you can manifest. It's something you can transform into. Or if it's something inside your own mind that you say, hey, I wish I was this way. Why am I this way? That's your north node. That's your goal. That's where you want to get to. That's deep cellular healing, and realizing that within yourself, that you have this place of judgment, that you have this ego trap, and healing it. And healing it takes coming back, and you keep getting visited. Like even today, I get visited by ego traps of, just like wondering why people are the way they are. Like, why do they do things this way? Or are they this way? And it's like, it's not my damn business, you know? It's like everybody's on their own journey. Everybody's learning their own shit. Everybody's dealing with their own shit. I'm dealing with my own shit. And, nourish yourself and treat yourself and other people as you would a newborn baby, with tender-hearted kindness. Switch things up with your body or your emotional well-being. Call in a team of helpers to support you in navigating any challenges you may be experiencing emotionally, whether that's getting support from friends, from peers, from a coach or a therapist, or somebody in a counselor, or your friendly neighborhood tarot reading, Tempress, hey. Or the four, what are the four, the ascended masters, or your guides, the spirits, you know? Support is always there if you ask for it and if you truly want it. So thank you, Spirit. That was actually gorgeous. I love this deck. It's so pretty. I really want to get the, I forget what it's called now. There's a tarot deck that goes with all this. I really want it bad, but it's not on top. Like, I want it bad, but it's not on top of my list because I love using the Starseed and the Work Your Light Oracle decks and to use the tarot deck in tandem. I think it would just be too much of the same imagery. That's one of the reasons why I bought this deck. Like, I saw somebody using it. The minor arcana is pretty much all looks the same, but the major arcana is just so gorgeous, and I think the imagery goes really nicely with those decks. And now we have Work Your Light. Could we have some more guidance from the Work Your Light? Guidance on how to release ourselves from judgment, from envy, from ego traps, and bring justice to ourselves and other people. Thank you, Spirit. You're already doing it. You already know it. You already know how to do this. And when you are on that spiritual path, you choose. You are choosing to elevate. You are choosing to ascend, whether you know it or not. So you're already choosing your higher path. It's actually committing to it, you know? It says stop overthinking and keep facing your true north. Focus on that higher being of yourself, that person you wish to be. Focus on that, and instead of trash talking yourself, just be inspired to be that person, and every day take a step in your life towards that true north, towards that higher self. How can I be a better person today? Thank you, Spirit. And then, oh yeah, I wanted to close 42 minutes. Oh gosh. I'm the chatty one. Like, I'm super chatty. I can't help it. Like, I was actually so quiet and reserved.